This episode of the Restoration Today podcast is brought to you by Prism Specialties. Prism Specialties proudly provides a robust range of specialty restoration services to help those affected by a disaster and other unforeseen damages. Whether it's residential or commercial, Prism Specialties delivers effective recovery solutions to help contractors, adjusters, and the insured. Prism offers expertise in restoring electronics, art, documents, textiles. This includes kitchen appliances, computers, works on paper, sculptures, leather goods, shoes, industrial machinery, and more. What many companies don't specialize in or may consider a total loss, Prism Specialties can restore. So when life needs an expert, call Prism Specialties at 888-291-5905 or visit prismspecialties.com to learn more. Hey restorers, thanks for checking out this episode of the Restoration Today podcast. Today, I'm excited to have a couple guests with me that are going to be talking a little bit about kind of trends in the industry and what it's like to stay competitive in a consolidating market. Both of these restorers have made moves to help their companies stay competitive, maybe in a more unique way than some of the other companies have gone. So I am excited to be joined by Evan Gines, who's the founder of Quick Dry, and James Bonner III, who's the founder of Spartan. They're both part of Guardian Restoration, and which is under Alpine partners. So I'm going to have them kind of explain that whole relationship to everybody once we get going. But James, I'm going to toss it over to you first to kind of intro yourself and share a little bit about your company.
Okay, my name's Jim. I'm the owner of Spartan Emergency Water Removal. We've been open for 8 years now. I am retired wounded Marine infantry officer and a retired FBI SWAT commander, and went into the carpet cleaning business and restoration business. And we kind of kept growing the restoration business, and the carpet cleaning business kind of fell to the side. We're currently running about 85 to 90 employees and 40 trucks, and live in the Northern Virginia area. We work from Richmond all the way up to DC, and just basically are excited about our new partnership with Guardian Restoration and working with Evan and some of these other great companies that they're out there gobbling up.
That's fast growth. 8 years old and you're up to 40 trucks and all that's impressive. That's fast growth.
Well, I've got a lot of gray hairs too, so it's okay. I've had an easier time in Afghanistan having hand grenades thrown at me than running 40 trucks.
Probably depends on the day. Perfect. Okay. All right. Evan, go ahead and introduce yourself and share a little bit about Quick Dry.
Yeah, my name is Evan Gines. I've been in the industry since 2010. Quick Dry was founded in 2013 and adapted to Boise and moved to Idaho. And after that, we set up a branch in Seattle as well as Coeur d'Alene. So we've kind of expanded to almost 200 employees and about 80 trucks. I've always loved to do construction and be part of that type of industry. So getting into restoration was kind of an easy fit for me. Felt right at home. I like the benefits of it being more, recession proof, as well as helping homeowners in a time of need. And felt like, this would be a good fit. So.
Perfect. So how has the year been for you guys? I have a lot of questions I want to ask you guys, but how's the year been for you two? I mean, I guess first tell the listeners, Evan, I'll toss this back to you. How long have you been part of Guardian? And then how's this year been for you? I know that this is one of those years where restorers, I think, are saying it's been a great year or it's been a miserable year. And there's a few kind of in the middle that are like, it's going okay. The weather's been a little weird. Things are it's been a weird year, but maybe you're where you're located. Maybe you're a little bit different, but okay. How long have you been with Guardian, and how's your year been so far?
Yeah, so we partnered with Guardian middle of July, so It's been about a month and a half. Yep. And for our year this so far, all of our locations have seen tremendous growth. We're growing at a rapid pace. We opened our Seattle branch about a year and a half ago, and we're up 40% this year over last year, continuing to grow like crazy. And our Coeur d'Alene branch is doing about the same. It was opened about 18 months ago. So for us, we're not seeing a slowdown. We're on a freight train and we're going forward. and partnering with Guardian Alpine has been a big push for us to continue that growth.
Okay, perfect. Okay, Jim, how about you? How has your year been so far, and how long have you been part of Guardian?
I've been with Guardian for 30 days now. We closed last month.
Yep.
I actually have a Zoom call with them this afternoon to work on the integration, so we're looking forward to that. Our year is going very well. We're in the very busy category. You know, we like to say our chest hurts when we don't have enough of work, and our chest hurts when we have too much work, but we just eat better when we have too much work. So it's going well for us across the board. We're a full service company, so we're doing everything from emergency to contents to rebuilds. All departments are up, and that's a kind of a good feeling because we've had the last 4 years have just been, you know, tremendous growth. And I was worried about a little bit of a plateau this year. We had a very dry summer, and so, you know, we had a couple slow days here and there, but you know, the minute I say we have a slow day, we get slammed. So we're fortunate. We're trending upwards. We're probably running about 30% growth off of 50% last year and 70% the year before and 100% the year before. So I'd love to keep that trend going.
Yes, of course, for sure. So what led both of you, Jim, I'll toss this one to you first, but what led you to going the Alpine Partners route, which owns Guardian? I know that Alpine owns Alpine is the PE firm, right? That is over Guardian, and Guardian Restoration is a group of restoration companies kind of coming together under that umbrella, right? So I'm guessing in the market, you probably were reached out to by other players in the market as well. So what kind of led you down this path of knowing that Guardian was the right fit for you?
We started getting letters and phone calls for the last couple of years. Started finding out about equity companies are very heavy in our industry. I really didn't pay any never mind to it. And about a year ago, I made a phone call out to a company. We started talking. I didn't get the best feeling in the world, so I moved on. Then I have a great broker who I met out of that interaction. He brought another company to the table. We were supposed to close in January of this year, but they had problems integrating their previous companies they had purchased. So it was a concern to me to leave the company in that hands. And then my broker brought Alpine to the table, and we had several other companies. We probably 5 or 6 of the big players have been out to our facility. We've had meet and greets, and I just was overall impressed with the organization. You know, being a Marine, being a SWAT guy, you know, I like policies, I like procedures, I like things that make me be able to touch it, look at it, follow it, understand it. And so they came in, and it was really impressive of their eagerness to learn about the business, their mindset and their philosophy, their ethos on how they take care of employees, how they take care of customers, their ethical prowess. It was really impressive. So I don't get impressed by very many people. And I was very impressed by Alpine. Now, during the due diligence, their data crunchers, well, that got to be a little tiring. But we learned a tremendous amount about our company. It would cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars to gain the insight that I was able to gain on my business by just partnering with, you know, somebody who really knows how to build businesses. And then on the side note, I've always been a team guy. You know, I was on special teams, you know, and I kind of miss that. I look forward to meeting all the other owners and picking their brains and, you know, and tossing back a beer with them and just building a camaraderie in Guardian across the board.
Evan, what about you? I'm sure that a lot of what you have to say probably echoes what Jim has said, but what were you looking for in a partner? How long, like, did it take the right person coming to the table for you to even consider a partnership like this? Had you been chatting with other people? What did the journey look like for you?
Yeah, no, great question. So yeah, we had talked to several other PE firms. Some were very large and some were small, and they just weren't great fits. They didn't kind of align with our long-term vision of what we wanted. And because we are in several different locations and states. Our growth pattern, I think, is a little more complex than others would be, and so we really wanted to partner with the right partner. And after we started talking to Alpine, I looked them up. It says people first, and I think a lot of private equity companies, they have a bad rap. They're known for cutting costs and the bad guy, if you will. And after we met Alpine Guardian multiple times and got to know them, we really felt like they were people first, and we saw that firsthand. And so for us, that was huge. Just having someone that understands you, that's a real person, and who's got a great track record. So for us, that was like the big push forward, and our vision for growth matched exactly what they were thinking too. So all in all, it just lined up perfectly.
So you both have had growing years recently. You've both listed off, exponential growth over the last few years. What do you attribute that growth to, especially in a consolidating market? I think there are a lot of restorers who are struggling and trying to find where their foothold is. So, Evan, I'll kick this one to you first. What do you think has been like, if you had to name one key critical thing that has helped your company continue to grow, what would that be?
Oh boy, yeah, there's a lot of things. I guess if you're saying one key thing, I think it's the people you surround yourself with.
Mm.
I think Quick Dry, we pride ourselves as well on being people first and putting the best employees and partners in place and vendors to help us grow and succeed. And I think when you get that dialed, everything else is so much easier,
Mhm.
and it allows you to focus on what you do best and really, grow the company.
Perfect. Jim, what about you? What do you think has been like a key to your success?
Well, I think Evan hit the nail on the head there. I mean, it is about people. Your employees come first, your customers come second. If your employees come first and they care about the company, they'll always make sure they take care about the customers. Another thing about us is we can't stand complacency.
Hmm.
Complacency kills. I've seen it out on the battlefield. I've seen it out in the streets. And so we're constantly striving to improve every aspect of what we do. And we only compete with ourselves. We don't compete with anybody else out there, but we want to be a better version of ourselves every time. It's just not about getting the best out of the employee on the job. It's about helping that employee develop and getting the best out of them as a person, whether it's in their faith, their fitness, their marriage, their parenting. It goes across the board. So I have to reiterate what Evan said. It's spot on about the people. And then again, it's with us complacency. We have nothing but tenacity. We will push, we will grow, we will push, we will grow.
So what does your hiring kind of process and interview process look like to kind of weed out people who might be complacent, people that might not have that drive that fits your culture?
That's difficult. I'm either a hero or a zero on hiring. Um,
Okay.
you just don't know what you're going to get. Everybody can come in. We love getting plug and play people who come from other companies, but then we have to kind of brief them and develop them into the Spartan way of doing things, because we do operate differently in our own terms. We're constantly recruiting. If I
Mhm.
had my way, I'd probably have just a recruiting
Yeah.
manager and constantly recruiting, because after COVID, it became difficult finding people. We're dealing with different generations, and all these different generations, they're motivated differently. So it's a constant battle. And I think the most important thing to do is get somebody in, give them a chance, try to mentor them, give them the training. But if they're not working, get them out quickly. If you've done everything you can with the training program, mentoring, and they're just still not getting it, it, I'm more worried about the people I have in place than I am about the people who I'm trying to put in place.
More worried about the people I have. Yeah, I like that. So, okay, Evan, I'm going to kick this over to you. We've talked about what you guys have done to help your companies continue to grow, but I'm curious about the challenges that you've faced. Hiring is obviously one of them. It's gotten really difficult since the pandemic. Restorers also talk about getting paid. That's really hard, getting paid in full, getting paid quickly, all of that. Working with adjusters. There's a lot of challenges in the industry. So, Evan, what would you say has been maybe your biggest challenge in the last 12 to 24 months? And how is your team working to overcome that? Maybe you haven't overcome it 100% just yet, but maybe you feel like you're on your way. So you're on your way.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So for us, I mean, early on with COVID, it was next to impossible to hire anybody. We were pumping out all the ads, asking for referrals from employees. That was extremely, extremely difficult. And I think as time went on, the economy changed. That hasn't really been an issue for us now. So some of the struggles we're dealing with, today is just been generating new leads as well as integrating everything into a streamlined process. So we've put a lot of time and effort into software development and then partnering with the right vendors that will help us meet those goals. So for example, we were struggling with billing and collections and dealing with adjusters, and we partnered with a company called Blackwater Billing a few years ago, and they did a great job for us integrating the billing process and kind of taking over that headache so that we could just focus on growing our company and using different software to maximize revenue and as well as efficiency. So
Software is hard. I mean, how have you weeded through all of the options that are out there to figure out what the best fit for your company is? Because there's a lot, and it seems like there's a new, especially if you're looking at job management platforms, there's a new one kind of coming on the market all the time. So how have you weeded through those?
yeah, I mean, when I first started, we were using pen and paper. I mean, I had to do the psychometrics with a little dial that you turned. It was pretty archaic, I would say. But yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, when we partnered with Blackwater, they had their own proprietary software, which is great, and we've tried out others that we've heard about either through competitors or online ads or what have you. But I think different software works better for different companies depending on their size. And as we continue to grow, needs change, and we're always out there looking, right? But one big thing that's helped us is the partnership with Alpine Guardian. They really focus on what software to use, what would be the best, and so kind of following their lead and their expertise, scouring the market, seeing what's out there. That has been a huge benefit for us and allowed us just to focus on what we do best, which is the restoration. So
Yes. Perfect. Okay. So Jim, how about you? What do you think has been one of the biggest challenges in the last like 12 to 24 months, and how your team has been working to overcome it?
Like I said, the hiring has been challenging, but it always will be.
Yep.
So that we understand and accept. Like Evan was talking about, the tech packages, getting paid. It's tough times out there. Somebody gets a lump sum of $40,000 in, and they've got a screaming credit card bill, and you're the last man who doesn't get a chair to sit in, and you're chasing the money sometimes. And the great thing is being able to partner with great companies and Guardian, because I'm going to be calling Evan afterwards to find about his billing company he works with, and try to relieve that burden for us. The problem with tech is tech's expensive. Tech takes time. Tech takes training to learn, and you vacillate. You don't want to go and commit to a tech program. We use Dash very heavily. It's integrated. It's improved. It's helped our business. But there's other things that we need in terms of tracking to watch our margins and our billing. So the great thing now is the partnership we can get vetting from this, because I can't go to my competitor across the street and ask for his advice on something that's counterintuitive. But it's been great to be able to partner with these folks and pick their brains, because tech's expensive and tech takes a lot of time, and you want to get the right package in place and maximize it. But like you said, there's all kinds of stuff popping up out there now.
There's a lot. Okay, my favorite question of every podcast is asking restorers to share a story. I used to say share a favorite story, but some of them are like crazy stories. So maybe it's not a favorite job you've ever been on. Maybe it's the craziest or something interesting or whatever that may be. So who wants to take the story one first? I'll let you guys decide who wants to tell a story first instead of tossing it to one or the other.
Evan, you go ahead, sir. You're senior to me.
You're seeing.
All right. Yeah, no, I guess in our industry, one thing that's always been super fulfilling for me has been able to work with our community and really dive into being a part of it, and being recognized as a model company for those around us. And a couple of years ago, we got a call from the Ronald McDonald House. And it had a ton of flooding, and I showed up, and I could tell that they were super stressed about getting it, water extracted and their operation back in business. And it was really cool because the way we've managed our company and our processes, we were able to get over there within an hour, get our guys on site, get the water extracted, and really help them get back into business and feel back at home. And just seeing that process, working with nonprofit, they didn't have enough money to kind of help us pay for it, so we gave back to them, and it's just been super fulfilling, being able to work in the community. So
That's a great story. I love it. Okay, Jim, how about you?
Same thing, helping out in the community. We do a lot of events with firefighters, first responders, our military folks, helping out. It's always a good thing when you go out to a job and you might have an elderly person living in home and you're on the phone with their children, talking them off the cliff and helping them out. But I think one of the big things that I is a personal note to me was I live here in Quantico. The FBI Academy's here. HRT, our hostage rescue team, is here. Our laboratory is here. I went to the academy here, and they had a real big flood out there at the academy. And it's like a bunch of gerbil tubes. You can get to anywhere in the academy, any of the classrooms, through tunnels. And so the whole place flooded really bad. And it was kind of neat to go back there, and I'm working with the folks there, and they had no idea I was former FBI. And so I'm talking with one of their people. We're walking through the job, and there's a Top Gun shooter award up there for all the people who shoot perfect scores in their qualifications. And I just said, well, hey, if you don't trust me, trust that score up there. And the guy looked up and realized, oh my God, this is an FBI agent, former guy. And but it was nice to be able to get there and see where I came from, and then help out at the academy and look at all the academy students running around, scurrying around, and thinking, Jesus, I was one of them. But it felt good to get back there. But I think the big thing, like Evan says, it's being part of the community, helping out, giving back. We work really hard in the business to make money and to succeed and to live and survive. You almost feel like you made it when you can afford to give back to the community. And that's really kind of like the quintessential, I made it, I'm giving back finally.
Do you use the base and everything being there as kind of a recruitment source as well?
We do. It's great because we'll get a bunch of the Marines out of the Quantico, and we had a large military base that had flooding down south, and we contracted all these guys, and it was great because they slept in their cars. They're like, we're not leaving the job site until the mission's done. And so they were they were happy as could be. They couldn't imagine a thing called overtime, because there's no overtime. But we do pull from them during storm events. We try to get we're part of the V3 veterans hiring program. Try to help out military spouses when they're here deployed, and try to help out with our vets. So yeah, we do lean on that heavily.
Perfect. I love it. Okay. All right. Anything that either of you want to share that we didn't talk about that you want to, I don't know, share with fellow restorers? Anything at all?
I'd say, for us, anybody who's thinking of going to that next step, wants to have a good partnership, I would encourage them to reach out to Alpine and Guardian. There is a bad rap with a lot of private equity like we talked about earlier, but they have been a phenomenal partner for us. They've been there every step of the way, and I feel super impressed with their operation, as well as very blessed to be able to join their platform and work with other amazing companies like Jim here with Spartan Water Removal. I think you should give them a shout if they give you a call, or send them an inquiry if you're interested.
Yeah. Jim, anything else you want to add to that?
Well, I agree with everything what Evan said. Super impressed with Alpine. Haven't been with them that long, but through the last 6 months of working with them and the detailed level of attention and professionalism and integrity was really great. And I'd also say that, our other local restorators out there, sometimes you're on top of the mountain, sometimes the mountain is on top of you. Just keep pushing, keep pushing. That's really all I've done is just tenacity, keep push, keep push, keep push. And, the harder you work, the luckier you get. So just, hang in there. There's going to be plenty of ups and downs. And for the companies out there, if you're looking to partner and kind of make a legacy I want to make a legacy out of my company. I want to be able to 10 years from now, see Spartan trucks everywhere in Virginia. And the quickest way to get that and ensure that was partnering with a great organization. So I look forward to that in the future.
Awesome. Well, gentlemen, thank you both very much for your time. I've enjoyed hearing your stories, and congrats on being part of Guardian. I can't wait to see where all of that goes. I know that there's great companies coming under that umbrella. So congrats, and I look forward to chatting with you both again soon.
Great. Thank you. It was a pleasure and good talking to you, Evan.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
For more Restoration Today and the latest news, visit our website, cnrmagazine.com, and find the latest episodes of the Restoration Today podcast on your favorite podcasting platform.